this example, we are going to multiply. Now, the key, you guys, is factor first, factor first, factor first. You have to do that for every single part. So let's take a look at this. We got 4 parts here. On top, take the top. I can take out a 5. If I take out a 5, I'm left with p minus 1. Then go to the bottom. I have just a p. That's not going to factor. It's not squared. I can't take anything out. Go to the top. See how I don't have plus or minus signs? That's not going to factor, so just bring it over. Now go to the bottom. Here I have a plus or minus sign. I've got a minus. So I don't have any squares, but can I take anything out? I can take out a 10. And that leaves me with a p minus 1. Now let's talk about the ways you can cancel. You can cancel, and this is really important that you know this. You can cancel across from here to here, here to here. You can cancel up and down on this one and up and down on this one. So you can do the cross canceling and you can cancel up and down. You cannot cancel top to top, bottom to bottom. That's what you can't do. You can't go across the top and cancel this with that or the bottom with the bottom. So let's look up and down first. I've got nothing here that I can cancel. If I look across this way, that p minus 1 can go. Okay? And 5 goes into 10. So 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 10 twice. Now let's look across this way. See how I have 1 p here and 2 there? Now these are not joined by a plus sign, so I can look at them separately. There's no plus or minus, okay? It's just multiplication. I can cancel this p out, and up here it's like having 2 p's, right? So I can cancel one of them out. So I'm just left with p to the first. Now let's look at what's left. I've got a 1 here, a 3p here, so I just have 3p because one of those p's canceled. On bottom I have nothing left but a 2. So that would be the answer. Let's look at part B. Right, on part B, factor first. Let's factor this first. The top, I can factor that into, let's see, k plus 5 times, whoops, I said k and I wrote x. Let me fix that. K plus 5. And on this side, k minus 3. That gives me negative 15 on the end, but a positive 2 in the middle. Now go to the bottom. That factors into k minus 3 times k minus 1. That gives me negative 3 on the end, or excuse me, a positive 3 on the end and a negative 4 in the middle. Now let's put this, our time sign, and let's do this piece. There's not 3 things there, so I can't do 2 sets of parentheses, but I can take a k out. They have a k in common. So if I divide this by k, I'm left with 1k, minus, if I divide this by k, I'm left with a 1. Now let's look at the bottom and see if this will factor. That's going to factor into k plus 5 times k minus 4. And that gives me that positive 1 in the middle and that negative 20 on the end. Now what we want to do is look and see. Let's first go up and down here, okay, with just this one. That k minus 3 is going to cancel out. Let's go up and down with this one. Nothing cancels. So let's go across. Let's go across this way. See how the k minus 1 will cancel? Let's go across this way. K plus 5 will cancel. I'm not left with anything on top except a k, and the only thing left on bottom is that k minus 4. So the final answer would be k over k minus 4. Let's look at part C. Now on part C, this one's not a fraction, so I'm just going to put a 1 under it. Now it's a fraction. I can't factor this. I can't take anything out. So we're going to leave that p minus 4. And leave your 1 on bottom. On this side, I can't do anything with the 3, so we'll leave the 3. On this one, I can factor out a 5. I can take out a 5, and then I'm left with p minus 4 if I divide both of those by 5. Now let's look at it. Cancel up and down if you can. We can't. I can't cancel anything this way, but I can cancel the p minus 4s this way. Now all I'm left with is a 3 on top and a 5 on bottom. Everything else canceled out. Okay, let's look at the next one. There's 2 more. On part D, factor first. Here, I can take out an x, and I'm left with x plus 2. Now let's go to the bottom. X plus 1 won't factor. There's no squares. There's nothing I can take out. I'm just going to put it in parentheses. Let's go over here. That's difference in squares. X plus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, now go to the bottom. It's not 3 things. It's not difference in squares, but I can take something out. I can take out an x squared. If I divide this by x squared, I'm left with 1x. Plus, if I divide this by x squared, everything cancels, so I'm left with 1. And then put that in parentheses. Now, let's see if we can cancel anything. So, up and down, nope. Up and down, yes. This x plus 1 will go away. Now, let's go across. From here to here, I have 1x here and I have 2 there. So, this one will cancel out and leave me with just 1 on bottom. From here to here, nothing cancels because 1's plus 1, 1's minus 1. So let's look. On top, we're left with an x plus 2 and an x minus 1. On bottom, we're left with an x and an x plus 1. And even though that is a large answer, that's all you can do with it. Got one more on this example. So let's look at this one. On top, there's nothing I can do. So I'm going to rewrite x minus 6. Can't take anything out. It's not squares. Let's go to this one. This one on bottom is going to be x minus 6 times x minus 6. Because that's the factors of 36, positive 36, that add to negative 12. Bring your time sign down. Let's look at the top one. That's going to be x minus 6 times x plus 3. Because negative 6 times 3 gives me the negative 18. Negative 6x, positive 3x is negative 3x in the middle. And on this last one, that's going to factor into x plus 3 times x plus 4. That's the factors of positive 12 that add to positive 7. Now that we have it all factored, we can cancel. Let's look up and down. This one will cancel with that one. X minus 6 is gone. Look it up and down on this one. X plus 3 is gone. Now let's go across. Nothing here. Let's go across this way. X minus 6 will cancel. Now when I have nothing left on top, I have to put a 1 there. Everything canceled out on top, so I put a 1. And on bottom, all I have left is an x plus 4. So factor first, factor first, factor first. And then cancel up and down, then cancel across.